Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, he's better dirty than dead. It's Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, buddy. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing excellent. Good to see you, man. We got a simple one for the folks today.
Yeah, real quickie.
Yeah, we're going to go straight for our man Stephen King, his latest adaptation, The Long Walk, which came out over the weekend. And Shane, you know, we here at Recent Activity try to strive to cover the biggest and boldest titles. We covered the not one, not two, not three, but number 4 at the box office this weekend. So we're doing great. We're like, fuck those other 3. Although in fairness to us, we did cover, I believe, number 2 previous weeks, because it's still The Conjuring, still kicking ass and doing all that stuff. But yeah, we did not cover Downton Abbey. We did not cover Demon Slayer. Sorry, folks. Those are for other podcasts.
Yes.
If you want to listen to Shane's coverage of Downton Abbey, listen to Upstairs Downstairs, a Downton Abbey podcast that he covers by himself. He wears a nice suit. So be sure to get all that in. But no, we're going to cover The Long Walk, directed by Francis Lawrence, who many would know from the Hunger Games set of movies. This is a Stephen King, a.k.a. Richard Bachman short story that was adapted. As Shane noted to me, that is in the same collection as The Running Man. Do you remember the name of the collection? I didn't write that down.
I do not off the top of my head. I'm sorry, folks.
It's okay.
It's been so long. It's been so long since I read that, which again, I was proud of myself for actually reading.
Yeah. Because I've noted many times on this podcast or other podcasts that I was a big King head starting in middle school, and I would read all kinds of short stories, but I did not get to that one. So probably because the Bachman thing as like an 11, 12-year-old threw me for a loop. And no one filled me in. You know, I needed just one librarian to go, hey, weirdo, go read this instead. But it just didn't come across the desk. This film is written by J.T. Molnar, who is the writer-director of Strange Darling, which we both liked. So I was encouraged to see yet another quality name added to the list of people making this film. It made $11.7 million over the weekend. It was domestic only, so that's encouraging, at least on that front, that, you know, it still has a chance to maybe go internationally and do some things. But hopefully the word of mouth on this one, Shane, gives it more gravitas, because the scores are very good. 3.7 Letterboxd, 7.5 IMDb, and an 80 Metascore, which is very high.
And I don't mean to disrupt you real quick.
Sure.
The name of the book is actually just called The Bachman Books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 4 early novels by Stephen King published in 1979.
I see. Yeah. See, that was one of the things, too, is like, I want to ask you whether this felt dated by that and whether it kind of fits a different era of King that we probably haven't seen in a while. And we can start there. I mean, like, I don't have much more else here besides Shane. Should this movie have been called Walk Hard, but Dewey Cox fucked it all up?
That may have been a better title for this movie. I like that.
I think so. And Walk Harder is like right there if they want to make sequels. It's all good. But yeah, this movie and this story, by extension, it definitely felt like it was. They seemed to adapt it pretty straight up, and you would know more as a person who read the story. But it feels like late 70s or even earlier. It feels like of a time. It felt like Stand By Me writing versus it felt like fresh to it. And I feel like a lot of the dialogue made me feel like when I'm reading King, but almost to an absurd degree. Because the one thing that drives me nuts about a lot of Stephen King adaptations, I'm getting really way off track. I should have waited this for later, but saying the names of the characters repeatedly ad nauseum drives me crazy. If I said to you, Shane, hey, Shane, every time I saw you, you'd be like, dude, you could just talk. Like, you don't need to get my attention and say my name. Like, people don't talk like that. People just talk. If I know you, you just fucking talk. So it drives me insane to hear in the same conversation to say someone's name over and over again. So that's a King thing too. It happens a lot in King adaptation, so it kind of goes from the writing, but that's, just a mild criticism, but you saw it a lot in this movie. So that's where I think it was more of a straight up adaptation. But what'd you think of the movie, Shane? Because this is definitely a movie that, like I said, is getting well reviewed and seems to be something that a lot of people tip as maybe, not a sign of the times, but like bring something older back into vogue because it smacks of what we're going through social politically.
Sure. I liked the movie. I enjoyed it. I feel like I almost have to maybe see it again, not in the theater, but like give it a second watch, because I felt like I had the same hangups dialogue wise you did. And stylistically, I like this movie. I just felt like there wasn't enough substance to this movie. Like, we got a lot of Ray's background, right? I just felt like there was more depth to some of these characters, and we got everything kind of surface level. Even like the Mark Hamill being the general. Yeah. We didn't really get a background of like why the government's doing this, what's their purpose, what's his background. And like, not for spoilers, but there's one character who ends up being like the general's son, and it's like, it would be nice to explore that a little bit more. Like, what's his background? So, but this movie moved along at a pretty good pace for a movie just about walking, to be honest with you. But like, sure, it's anchored by Peter and Ray.
Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson, two fine young actors that I think this is a showcase for them completely.
David Johnson is one of my favorite young actors coming off of Alien Romulus, who I thought stole that movie.
And we love Rylane too.
Yeah, he kind of stole this movie as well. Like, I loved the dynamic between them. I just felt, again, I wanted more story. I wanted more character building within this movie. I just felt like we didn't get that. Everything was surface level, except for Ray. That's the only background we got.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I get caught up wanting to talk about this movie more than I had like a love for this movie. I like this movie. I'll rip off the Bandit. I think it's a 3.5. So I think the scores are close, but I think people are like really taking this to another level that I personally wouldn't have got there. But I did anecdotally just in my life be like, yeah, if you saw this happens in it and this happens in it. And it's like one of those where it's like, you have to watch it to be like, oh my God, what would you do in this situation? Or how would you play this? Or is this even possible? Like things about like, you could walk and sleep at the same time. Really?
Right.
I've never heard of that
possible.
In my life. And,
nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
And the thought of like, wow, these people walked for 5 days straight. And Hoffman's character lost his shoes at some point. That's like a miracle. It's a miracle to have a lot of this stuff go on. So while I enjoyed how it's basically a microcosm of like wartime and economic oppression and fascism and the choices we make in the hardest of times and all that stuff and trying to be better and lighter in times of darkness, I always say this, because I just simply don't know, but I've never been in a military unit before or anything close to that outside of, sports has that kind of camaraderie, but like, just banding together, even when like they could be trying to rip you apart, but like, or you're coming together for a common cause or any of these type of things. It feels like this movie speaks to that, even though it isn't that. Like, it felt like a war movie, but it's not a war movie.
Correct. I agree with everything you just said. I go back to some of the characters we got flashes of, like Hank, right? Like, he popped in the frame for a couple times, played by Ben Wang. Great character. We just like,
which I loved him in Karate Kid, by the way. I'm glad he got a little extra.
Yeah, but like he flashed. I thought there was going to be more of him. And then he just kind of faded out for a while until he ended up, his number got punched. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like stuff like that, like, just kept coming in and out. I wanted just more. But you're right. Like, the theme of the movies, I was drawn to it. And, like, again, this movie locks you in with the dialogue and the friendship and them, like, building camaraderie. And then you get your, like, jolts of violence that the director, like, just wakes you up with, like, hey, this is going on. So, like, it kind of, like, keeps you aware of the whole movie. I just wanted a little more. And I'm with you. I gave it a 3.5. Yeah. It just didn't have enough material to elevate it to past that. So I agree with you and all that. I'm just with you in the thought that everyone who's elevating this film to like a 4 or whatever, like I just can't get it there. I can't.
Yeah, I can't either. Like I said, it's just one of those movies that I really admired it. I wanted more from it. And it's a typical short story though, because it's not made to be this build, unless they, there's two tacks of this, right? Where they either go, I love this story for what it is. I think it tells enough of a story. It's a slice of life. We can focus on building characters more than building worlds and do it this way. And that's what they did. And then the other would be probably people who are inspired by this story makes things like The Hunger Games, to which Francis Lawrence, has all those movies in his pocket. So it's an interesting time capsule of sorts. It's like you could tell from that time period. Like even the kid who was like, I'm writing a book on this. It's like, dude, you might die. What are you talking about? Like the odds of you making it through or escaping or whatever, like that was the thing I did kind of want to ask you too, is how do you think you would fare and how would you go out if you're like, I'm going out? Or do you think you'd have control? Because there were people who like controlled their own fate. Then there's people who just straight up, like twisted an ankle or whatever. And it's like, you're out, get shot in the head, or you win it all. Do you think you're built for that?
I think I'm built to get into the top 3. I think I'd be one of the last people to drop.
Right.
But if I knew I was going to drop, I would have taken my situation in hand like some of the other characters did and just like stop walking altogether and just take the bullet and just move on.
Right.
Because I have marched long distances before.
Okay.
Not 5 days worth.
Sure. That's insane.
I've walked 31 miles at a clip and that'll eat your ass up. Like that's no joke. That's no joke. Like I can't imagine doing that overnight through the morning, blah, 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 especially at 3.0 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That is like something else altogether. So, but yes, to answer your question, Andrew, I do think I have the intestinal fortitude and the pain threshold to at least crack the top 3.
Yeah.
Don't know if I would have won it, but I would have just stopped and just let him take me at that point.
You going the buddy route or you going the mind games fucking with people lone wolf shit?
I'm going the mind games lone wolf fucking with people shit. That's
of course you are.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Nice.
Nailed it.
Nice. Yeah. I always go with I have a certain sense of like we're a little alike in the terms of like certain level of, our sports background or, just a certain level of stubbornness or aggressiveness, but we're also deep down good people. So I think I'd have probably a mix. And I think I'd see the same for you where it's like certain people, if I don't like you, you're dead to me. You're done. Like,
you're dead.
I hope you catch a bullet real fast. I will probably feel for those people who I like feel akin to though. So I think I would have a general mixture of all that, but at the end of the day, I'm not dying. Like I don't want to die. Right. So like a lot of these people just felt reserved to doing it. I'm like, all right, well that's not me. That is not happening.
No, that's
if
not
I'm
me.
Entering it, what is this attitude? Did you just come here to die? So yeah, that's a toughie though. That's a real tough one. I did think about like, cause they had those influencer only screenings with the treadmill. I think I sent you that.
Yeah,
where I was like,
that.
Man, I would have loved to do that. They should have done this not as just a stunt. Like, if we could, we're in the era of like D-Box and other nonsense. Like, let's fucking toss some treadmills in there. Let's do it.
I would have done it. I would have watched the movie like that, to be honest with you.
Totally. I absolutely would. Because I was trying to do the math. And I was like, all right, so the movie's what, like a little, around 2 hours?
Yep.
So even just, all right, 3 miles an hour, simple math, you're doing 6 miles on a treadmill. That's fine. Yeah. I could do that. And especially, again, if I was watching it for the first time, then I can really focus and I wouldn't even feel it probably.
Yeah.
So
no, I would have done that doable. But go real quick, people. For those who haven't walked that much, the problem is no one could walk 5 days straight. That's the problem.
No,
because you start getting blisters on
without
your feet
stopping.
After like, right. Like mile 15, you start getting blisters.
Yeah, your
feet start to go, and you're just done.
Were you like me and concentrating on the footwear? I was really keying in on footwear, and I was like, dude, are you wearing like loafers? What is happening? I saw a pair of Chucks. I was like, you're the dumbest person alive. But again, like the time period, that's why I really wanted to know, what year am I supposed to be looking at? Is this, supposed to be some offshoot dystopian thing? Like, is this all they got? Because there were people who were wearing boots, and I was like, I don't even know if boots. But, you figure maybe if it's like a good quality boot, you can. But for that long, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because you can feel some cushion with a really good boot. But, yikes.
Well, that's all I walked in, buddy, were boots.
Well, yeah, of course. Because you're changing terrain, too.
Right,
so you have to.
Yeah.
Them, they're just walking on straight streets.
Oof.
Yeah. But, again, if it's the era that he's writing in, it's the era of the NBA where they're playing full court professional basketball in Chucks. So it's like, all right, dude, go ahead, break yourself. No one's doing that anymore. So, yeah. Even, can't they have like running shoes? People ran track and stuff. They weren't doing it in Chucks, right?
Correct. They had, Nike was out back then. So they had
somebody.
They did have running shoes. Yeah. We also Pre LaFontaine. Yeah, right? So
exactly. Yeah. But yeah. Well, we'll see. I want to know. I want to hear from JT Molnar and everything else on footwear. And Francis Lawrence. I just want them to all get in a room and just talk to me about how much did they concentrate on footwear, or is the footwear in the text? I really need to know about the footwear, what the decision making was. So with that in mind, with our scores and the scores of critics around the country and people as people are seeing this more and more, I went and looked at the 21st century Stephen King films, and I put them into 3 categories. I put them in the top 10, I put them in the misses, and then the meh. And I'll start with the misses. The Dark Tower, Cell with John Cusack, I believe, Dreamcatcher, which I was like almost like furious in that movie. It was that bad. Salem's Lot, the remake, which you covered on this podcast, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, which you said okay things, but it, definitely doesn't come up to snuff with a lot of the other King stuff. In the Tall Grass, which I've covered on my previous Netflix podcast, it's just, it didn't have enough. Another one of those like short stories that just doesn't give you a lot. Like, it's visually appealing at times, but like the story just doesn't work for me. And the 2 other remakes, Firestarter and Children of the Corn, bad stuff. So,
I will say Firestarter might have been one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. That movie was so bad.
Is that Zac Efron?
Yes. Yeah. That movie was so bad.
Yeah, it's real bad. So no arguments there, right?
Nope.
Okay. So the meh, I have The Monkey, which we've covered this year. Kind of a very wayward, mixed, like good highs, but like generally confusing and all over the place and didn't really work. The Boogeyman, which I guess that's a remake too, right? So that's the one with Sophie Thatcher. Pet Sematary remake, which got a much higher Metascore than I thought. It has a 57, which could have put it in like near the top 10 or in the top 10, which is wild talk. Mr. Harrigan's Phone, which I thought was okay. It's okay. A very bland, one-note kind of a Netflix Stephen King adaptation. The Carrie remake,
Stop.
And
with
again,
the remakes.
The numbers are actually close to, again, top 10 territory. I'm like, who watched this movie? And then weirdly enough, the one that has, I think, the lowest of the mass scores I had originally in the top 10 was Secret Window with Johnny Depp, which I liked.
I kind of liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not going to like ride for it or anything, but I had it on DVD. I thought it was fine. So, it's good. Him losing his mind out in the cabin when we all still like Johnny Depp. Remember that? It's fun. So here's the top 10, Shane, based on Metascore. Yep. Now, I'll ask, like, what would your probably top 3 of these be? The Long Walk is the highest at 80. Gerald's Game from Netflix is 77. That's Flanny. 1922, also a Netflix one, comes in at number 3 with a 70 Metascore. It has a 69 Metascore. Remember when we used to give lower Metascores because it was horror only, and now they're all masterpieces? Yeah. Funny, huh? Life of Chuck, 67. Won the audience award at TIFF. Couldn't crack 70. Amazing. 1408 with a 64. I actually think that's a very underrated movie. I was scared to fucking death when they went into some of those zones that they went into with the inside that haunted room there. It Chapter 2 is next in line. I believe I'm blind.
58.
I think it's a 58. Dr. Sleep, 59. The Mist is also a 58. And then Hearts in Atlantis is a 55. So not a bad list. I think pretty much all of these. So no issue with those. But if you had to kind of rearrange and put a top 3, what would you do?
My top 3 off the bat would probably be It'd be The Life of Chuck, and then it'd be The Mist. I love The Mist.
Yeah.
To me, what seals that movie for me is the ballsy ending that movie had.
Yeah,
where it
everybody
is
wants
shock.
to talk.
Yeah, which is just shock and awe. I love that movie.
Yeah.
What surprised me though was 1922, which I would have if without seeing the score, I would have put that in the meh.
Yeah,
film. You know what I mean?
It's probably one of the better meh, but it's still, a meh.
I was shocked to see it this high on here, especially higher than It. Like what?
That's insane.
And that's insane. So The Long Walk would probably be number 4, and then we could go down the list from there. But no, you know how I feel about The Life of Chuck. Love that movie.
Yeah,
love that movie. In fact, a lot of my favorite Stephen King movies are his non-horror entries.
Yeah.
Like The Life of Chuck and Shawshank and The Green Mile and Stand By Me. You know, so those are kind of like my those are kind of my favorite.
Borderline horror. It's more of a thriller.
But yeah. And honestly, I was not a lover of Gerald's Game, even though it has my girl Carla Guglia in it, who I love. Yeah. But there's something about that movie I just didn't jive with, especially the ending as it wore on.
Yeah.
The ending just kind of
when she goes to trial and does the whole thing. Yeah.
But it's a good list. Stephen King is a funny, because remember when we were growing up, it was mainly a lot of just misfires. Outside of The Shining, you had Maximum Overdrive, which was terrible.
Right.
I didn't, Cujo, again, didn't care much for Cujo.
Sure.
A lot of his other stuff, and now lately he just seems to be a little more on fire. Even with some of his misses, they're okay. I don't know. I just feel like there's better adaptations being made of his material now than there were when we were growing up in the 80s.
Yeah. And I'll tell you right now, even based on the trailer, I could see The Running Man being in a top 3 very easily. It's not hard to probably get into a top 3 with this list.
Right.
But I think what it's teaching is he has a very high percentage, and that's why people keep adapting it.
Yeah. So what would your top 3 be?
I'm pretty close to you. I would think it probably still has to be probably in number 1. Yeah. I probably would, instead of The Mist, I would swap out to 1408.
Okay. I can see that.
Otherwise, I'm probably, the same 3. I'd have to really think hard about the order. Right. But I think because Life of Chuck might be the 3rd in that list. It could be number 1 if I rewatch it. I'm all over the map with Life of Chuck still. But I think it's iconic. And it took a lot because I liked the miniseries that when I watched that as a kid, it fucked with me hardcore, between Pennywise, the spider, the whole thing. It was just madness. So that really messed me up back then. So to rival that and really get that intensity, I think really what it is for me is when it really gets dialed up for what he could do, because I think that's what 1408 did for me. 1408, again, none of these like end hardcore great. Like probably It is like the closest, but even then it's like a ramp up. It's a lot of the same repetitiveness, but like it's so intense. Like I said, Life of Chuck, 1408, two of the three have a commonality. And then we also, like you said, enjoyed the soft side too.
Yeah.
So, and if you're going to compare on the soft side stuff, you're talking Life of Chuck and Hearts in Atlantis. And I think Life of Chuck's a better movie. So,
yep.
But yeah, and Dr. Sleep, I feel bad a little here because I think from everyone's estimation, the director's cut is a better movie than his original cut. But not everybody saw that, and that's not how it was originally looked at. And I think it's hard to compare it or say it's a better movie but if you make the little asterisk to be like, well, you got to watch the extremely long director's cut, to get it, quote unquote. Good performances. It's a good movie, but I just don't think it rises to all the other ones. But so if you had to put Long Walk, you're probably putting it where? Top, middle, or bottom? Obviously not top. So middle or bottom?
Good question. So I would put it like number 5.
Yeah, I think mid-pack is not bad.
Yeah, I'd put 1408 in front of it, and then it would fall right behind that. So yeah, it'd be number 5 on this list.
Yeah,
which isn't bad.
I think most of these movies, I think if I looked at my letterbox, which I didn't, I should have, almost to almost every single one of these movies, I think is a 3.5.
3.5. I was about to say that. Was it a 3.5?
And that's why I think 1408 it might be 4s in my letterbox. I have to double check, but at least they're all at least a 3.5. But I think almost all of them are 3.5s,
right?
Which is wild. But yeah, I still feel bad for Secret Window. Sorry, bud.
I do too. Like I liked that movie.
And I was shocked at the Boogeyman score too, because I thought people trashed that.
It got trashed. Like it did get trashed.
Yeah.
But I think his biggest disappointment, if I had to like nail one that I think fans were like clamoring for, but he just missed the mark, was The Dark Tower. Probably his most disappointing movie.
Yeah, I think that's why the Metascore was so low, because I think a lot of people read that, were into it, thought this was franchise, big time, had a great cast, and it just missed. Just completely
hard.
Missed. Yeah.
But there was so much hype when that movie was coming out. Like,
yeah.
And then it just floundered.
Yeah.
So but
it's an interesting list. I would say the lesson should be don't remake.
Yeah, please don't. I was about to say that because all his remakes have been misses.
Yeah.
Like, awful. And not just bad, just awful.
Yeah.
Like, just awful.
I also wonder when he started to get more involved and when he kind of let go, or did he ever? Because it used to be, if you remember The Shining, he hated The Shining. He had to really let go for Kubrick to do that. And he's still he hated it so much that he turned around and made a TV movie version of The Shining that didn't work because he just wanted to put his version, his stamp. So I think he had much more of a voice or a thought to put his stamp on things early. And then he also directed some of his too. And that
do you remember the first one he directed?
Yeah.
Maximum Overdrive.
Awful. I know. And I saw it.
Awful.
Yeah. I saw it in the theaters recently.
Yeah. You know why every kid rented that VHS tape? It was because of the cover with the badass Green Goblin.
That's absolutely
on the
right.
truck.
Yep.
That's the only reason why we rented that goddamn movie.
Otherwise,
and it was
it's
terrible.
Goofy as hell.
It was terrible.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. And he's found some success in TV series and mini series and things like that. And I think that helps especially if you're trying to do a novel. The short stories, I think, are a great idea for 90-minute movies. Bang them out.
Yeah.
Or if you want to flesh them out just a little bit, cool. I'm in. But yeah, I think that's the lesson here. Don't remake him and let him spook the crap out of you. He does it well. But I wonder, again, we always say, is there more in the tank?
There's always more in the tank, buddy.
I know. And I realize what I'm saying when I say don't remake, and yet I'm really looking forward to Running Man.
Well, Running Man, I know. I just thought about that.
The only thing I could think of, because you like the original Running Man, right?
I love it.
So the only reason why I would say that one should work, excellent director. You can't fuck around when you get Edgar Wright.
Yep.
but also I think that movie is stuck in the 80s, though.
Oh, totally.
So if you want, like, you can really make that because of its, its game atmosphere and hamminess. You can do that. I just would be so scared if it was any other director because I'd be like, is this going to be Rollerball? You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, God.
Where it's like, what was it, Jimmy Caan in the original, right? Yep. Where really good movie, intense, awesome stuff. And then the remake was like Chris Klein, smoothed out.
Like LL Cool J or something, right? Yeah,
it's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah. So that didn't work at all. So, again, different set of hands, more concerned. This one, less concerned. But that's all we got for this week. The only thing I could chime in and say is we'll probably cut to more TV stuff next week, although we do have some movies that we are looking forward to. But I watched the first 3 episodes of Only Murders in the Building, their premiere of their 5th season, which is insane. Yeah. It's a very repeatable process. I like it. And again, it's another one. If you liked last season, which saw them get more personal and who the murdered person is, who the victim is, and how they do that, then you will like this season because it gets really in depth. But although it has briefly, at least so far, you are not a fan of Bobby Cannavale, right? Oh,
God. Yeah, no, not a fan.
Yeah, so he's like a mob boss in this one, and he ends up involved heavily. So, but it's in bits and pieces. He's not like an active character. So you'll see when you see it. But it's good so far. I'm in, as I always am. I love this show. I love the 3 up top. You can't, and the Arconian, all the characters that are still hanging around with that. Always fun. So I will be continuing on with that. But then we got Black Rabbit and Gen V season 2.
Yeah, baby.
So we will see how much it's affected by its big time loss from season 1 to season 2 in terms of its casting. And but I think I'm actually looking forward to this maybe more than where the boys are at right now, because I was disappointed last season.
Right before we got on the mics, I did see the Rotten Tomatoes score on Gen V, and it was 88% critic score.
Do you know if that was higher than season 1? Because that's where I would be curious, because I want to see, especially I don't remember them being particularly kind to season 1. We were way more into it than it seemed like the critics were.
Okay, nope. Season 1 of Gen V, 97% critic score with a 77% audience score.
Okay. So far, a slight dip.
Slight dip so far, yeah.
Well, again, there's got to be some kind of... that's a big character to lose. So,
absolutely.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm interested. And then, like we mentioned, Black Rabbit with Jason Bateman comes out this week on Netflix as well. But then as far as the movies are concerned, A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey is out. I know Shane was looking forward to that quite a bit. And again, I was hoping, is this going to be last year's We Live in Time? Like that kind of like romance that works, that just plays to our heart, pulls on the heartstrings, plays to our emotions, and we're not hating on it for it. And it comes out right around the same time, I believe.
Yeah.
But this didn't go to film festivals and anything else, so I'm interested in, like, was that by design? Yada, yada, yada. And then Him comes out, produced by Jordan Peele with Marlon Wayans. We'll see. I mean, I've seen that trailer a bajillion times, so we'll see. It seems interesting, but again, it could just be, as we talked about, where is September the bleed over of what August is, where it's kind of the, I don't know, what do you think? kind of a movie. So we'll see. But we've been pretty, it's been pretty successful.
Yeah,
we've thrown out a lot of 3.5s and 4s and such lately, so can't complain about that. And so that should cover probably what comes out next week. And then after that, we got PTA with Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another, getting amazing reviews.
I'm in now. I'm in on that movie now.
Yeah. At least you got to watch it. Like, to me,
I'm in on it.
I was honest, and I'm the PTA fan of the two of us, and I was just like, that trailer doesn't grab me. And then Yeah, we'll see. I mean, some people literally are like, "It's my favorite movie of the fucking century so far."
That's why I'm in.
I was like, Jesus, okay. Especially when we already made Sinners like our prime number 1 5-star movie slot of the year. That I thought like, all right, well, we don't get a lot of these, but if we end up having at least those two, and then Hamnet, the new Chloe Zhao, won the audience award at TIFF. So that seems to be like the other Oscar player in the really sad, dramatic sense category. So we'll see about that. We'll definitely hear from that as time goes. But yeah, that's it for us, Shane. Great job as per usual. A nice shorty this week. Like I said, we will be back with all those, that mishmash of movies and TV stuff that we will have next week. Be sure to subscribe. Give us 5 stars, tell a friend, do all the stuff for us so we can keep this fun time that we have every single week. But be sure to come back next week for more recent activity.
Yay, I like that.